Bloodborne had three endings. One, in which the hunter takes place of Gehrman, the first hunter, and acts like a teacher to the upcoming hunters. And the hunt continues like before. Second, in which hunter chose to surrender in front of Gehrman and ended up getting killed by him and escaped the nightmare. So in the second ending we saw Hunter's grave, also known as our main character. And third, in which the hunter gathers all three umbilical cords and fights the moon presence. He ends up slaying moon presence and turns into a squid. Apparently he takes place of the moon presence. At least that's what the theories say. Also, let me tell you that the third ending is the only ending which is considered as true ending, because after killing the moon presence, the hunter actually has the power to end the nightmare forever, because he becomes a great one, a kind of a god, and he or she has the power to correct wrongs of the previous great ones. Now, I think that all the endings are clear to you. So let's talk about Bloodborne 2. This game has been in demand since a while now, but do we really need this? And if yes, then what do we want from this game? Will it be a prequel or a sequel? Prequel means a second installment of a game, movie or anime which is based on the events which take place before the first installment. A perfect example of this would be RDR2. It was a prequel of the first game. So, if Bloodborne 2 comes, will it be a sequel or a prequel? Let's look into this with a little bit precision. If we look at the first ending, then we saw that Hunter wakes up in the morning just like a mortal and probably continues to live like one. But the hunt, the nightmare still exists. So, if we assume this to be the topic of Bloodborne 2, then it won't make any sense because the hunt will begin again. So, it will kinda be like the first game in repetition. There will be almost same lore, same characters. There could be some new bosses and enemies, but that won't matter if the lore doesn't differentiate from the first game's lore. This may sound nonsense, but think of it for a second. We saw that our hunter wakes up like a mortal and the hunt will still begin. Gehrman continues to stay as a host, the presence is still there controlling the nightmare. The main final boss is presence because the hunt, the great ones and all stuff is because of it. It's like a god. That's why it's our main villain of the game. Now, we do have a choice in the first game to end it, but also have the first ending. So imagine now, why the hell would they make a Bloodborne 2 on the basis of first ending? Because we saw that if presence is still alive, then the nightmare and hunt still exist. So it will be just like the first game if it comes. Only thing that might be different is the protagonist, and other than that almost everything would be same, just like the first game. Point to be noted that first ending is considered as the worst ending within the game's fanbase, because we literally leave Gehrman to suffer in the dream and nightmare and the presence still prevails on humanity. So it's stupid to say that Bloodborne 2 will be made on the basis of the first ending. Now, let's take a closer look at the second ending. In second ending, Hunter frees Gehrman from the dream and takes the post of host of the nightmare, and the hunt and the nightmare continues to prevail. If we try to assume this ending to be the base for the second game, then we see that this case is very similar to the first ending's case. Why is that? Well, let's find out. The circumstances here are something like this. Hunter becomes host, hunt continues and presence is still there. Only thing that will be different is the main character, and we will get to meet our previous protagonist. So you see that if the second game will be based on the second ending, then it will, just like the first case, will be nothing but a copy of first game. Now let's take a look at the final ending, which is also considered as the most appropriate ending by the Bloodborne community. Because in this ending, the hunter kills the moon presence and ends the nightmare by becoming an infant great one. There will be no more nightmares and hunts and humanity will be safe. So assuming this ending to be the base of Bloodborne 2 is not appropriate, because as I said before that the nightmare is finished and so the hunt. Without Nightmare and Hunt, no Bloodborne can exist because the cosmos, the life and humanity is safe from great ones. So this puts a full stop for Bloodborne. Now can we say that we won't get another Bloodborne game? Well, let me tell you that we can get a prequel. Like I have explained earlier that what a prequel is, so I think you are clear with the meaning of it. If not, then you can rewind this video and can watch it again. Okay, so we might not get a sequel for Bloodborne, but we may get a prequel because in the first Bloodborne, we saw many things which were hinting towards a prequel. Like we can learn more about the previous hunters and hunters who became our enemies, such as Father Gascoigne. We can learn a lot of things from his backstory, like how did he become a werewolf and about his connections with other hunters. And we could learn about Ludwig, that how he ended up like a half man and half horse, and how did he founded the healing church, and who were the other hunters who were with him at that time. We can also learn about Mikolash and Lady Maria. Not that anyone cares about Mikolash, but many players are interested in Lady Maria. Other than this, there are also many locations about which we didn't got to know properly, such as Yahargul, Hypogean Jail, Lecture Building, Astral Clock Tower, etc. etc. We can learn about the moon presence too. We all know that presence is responsible for the nightmare, but we don't know that how did the presence came into existence. What is its origin? So these topics can be used in the Bloodborne prequel if it ever comes. And about a sequel, we may never get it because according to Bloodborne's most accurate ending, the nightmare has came to an end. So it puts a full stop on the series. But yeah, an alternate universe is always possible. But for me, it would not be that much promising since we know that there's a lot of empty ground in the first game which needs covering. So personally, I don't want any alternate extension. And please note that the idea of a prequel is only my personal opinion. I am definitely not saying that we will only get a prequel and nothing else. So please don't take it in that way. And if you have any ideas about a sequel which extends the game further, then let me know about that, because from my own research I am unable to come to any conclusion about any hint of a sequel which continues the first game. So any ideas and criticisms for this video will be appreciated. This is it for this video. Take care and bye bye.